just come up to that point and you go, oh, wow, every major religion said this is what's at the bottom of it. And you know what? The elite believe they're getting knowledge from the other side. And you know what? The Wedgwoods, the Galtons, the Huxleys, the Darwins, they all interbreeded about 200 years ago. And within 50 years, 2 or 3 generations in, most of the kids were mentally ill, brain dead, but others were super high IQs, had hallucinations all the time, and would just hallucinate and say, DNA double helix, biometrics, world government, here's the plan. And the British royalty would bring them in with their Royal Institute, and they would listen to this and say, okay, this is the plan, we're going to build it. And I know I sound crazy saying that. That's real history. They like interbred to create super beings that would be like antennas to get this advanced technology. And then they envisioned all this advanced technology. And then they deployed it and had German scientists and others hired, and Russian scientists who IQ-wise had even higher IQs, to build it. I mean, whoa, if that isn't science fiction, and then like, it's just like Avatar. We got these people jacking into these bodies. That's basically what possession is. And again, I'm not saying I've seen that or I know that or I believe that. The elite believe that at Skull and Bones in Bohemian Grove. Okay, that's it. I'm going to your calls. Let's talk to Mark in Illinois. We're all talking about Donald Trump. Go ahead. Thank you for holding. I've been out of control today. Go ahead.
That's all right, Alex. How you doing?
Good. Good, my friend. Go ahead.
I love you and I love your show. It's a beautiful day here in southern Illinois. Hardly any chemtrails today, which is amazing because most of the time they got the sky covered with them. And I want to say I don't fault you for giving Leanne a hug. She's a beautiful woman. She's a great reporter too. All your reporters.
No, I know, but just when it becomes a distraction, you know, about that, and of course, then people say, "Oh, good, she's upset about it. Let's talk about it more." No, I'm just saying, gossip about this show is a diversion from what the New World Order is up to. Is my point.
And I completely understand. And there's a couple points I want to make here, Alex. First, just let me say I've been listening to you for about 8 years now. I also listen to Jeff Reins, Hagman and Hagman, Steve Quayle, and quite a few people online and different other alternative media news outlets and stuff. And I've been listening for about 8 years. And the main point I want to make is that I just think these globalists are willing to do anything when it comes to, to keeping power and staying in control.
Well, I mean, look at Hillary. She looks like central casting of a psychotic witch on a power trip. She's the Wicked Witch of the East, meets up with Freddy Krueger, the Joker, and a frumpy weirdo woman, James Bond villain.
Yeah, it's crazy. And anybody that's voting for that woman, they have to absolutely know nothing about her. Either that or just not care.
Well, now she's worried about Islamophobia in a new speech. That article's up on Infowars.com. Hillary ignores Istanbul ISIS attack and focuses on revenge porn. Isn't that nice? And Islamophobia.
And they're allowing all this to happen. I mean, it's part of the collapse of civilization.
And they write white papers admitting it, absolutely. But you could just be a delusional trendy and imagine she's your friend and imagine you're successful, like black Americans for Obama as their unemployment doubled. You could just be delusional. How about that? How about we just imagine that the moon's made of cheese together and be in make-believe land? But see, there's a real world and then there's make-believe land. The problem is the real world is so much more fantastical, beautiful, scary, exhilarating, evil, dark, fantastical, that the average person just can't understand it. Just like I sit there and make jokes about her being succubus and all the rest of it, and people can't get it. But then literary folks go, well, this is genius poetry. I'm not saying I'm always like that, but these people just don't know what they're getting or what they're hearing. It's pearls before swine, my friend. But Mark, you are no swine, and I love you. I appreciate your call. Stephen, Chris, Sean, Mark, and others. I'm going to try to take more of your calls now, try to shut up a little bit. And there's all this other election news and so much more coming up. Gary Haven's going to be in studio as well. He likes taking phone calls. We'll take phone calls with Mr. Haven as well. I'm Alex Jones. Let's go ahead and take a phone call from Steve in Florida. The epic speech that Trump gave has been posted on DrudgeReport.com, Infowars.com. Really, that's one of the only places you're going to find it. They just have tiny snippets out of context that aren't powerful. You'd think the presidential frontrunner in dead heats in many polls would be numero uno. Nope. You think him saying Hillary's a Chinese agent and the era of our surrender is over, you think that'd be everywhere? No. So the battle now is to get his info out. Before they used to cover the speeches because they got such ratings, They're taking a dive now. They're losing money and just trying to show little snips and talk about him. Are the viewers even aware of that? Do they even know how they're being manipulated? They're making money off Trump and the Trump phenomenon, off populism while trying to kill it. Keep your friends close, your enemies closer. Stephen, in the great state of Florida, you're on the air worldwide.
Hey, Alex. Hey, I just want to let you know, this speech was an example of Donald Trump's raw charisma. And as a thinking person, he gets me pumped up and engaged. And we need a strong leader with that type of a talent. And I also wanted to let you know that that skit you did with Obama did with Jimmy Fallon on the TPP, to my knowledge, that originated from the old hip-hop song OPP, which was an abbreviation for other people's property. So it makes complete sense that someone like Obama would make a spoof on other people's property.
No, that's right. You down with OPP? You know me. Yeah, let's go rob people. Let's go steal. It's like from the 90s, if memory serves. Oh, but it's okay. It's just entertainment. That's where they're hitting you is there. So they got the jazz band behind them. They're playing. And Fallon's like, you down with OPP? And he's like, yeah, you know me. And exactly, it's the biggest theft in history. But it's okay because we got some, good-looking hip brothers and nice clothes with, Mr. Fallon all good-looking and hip as well. And it's fall fun. In fact, let's play some of this weaponized garbage preying on that guy's moron audience. And again, they'll say, oh, this is entertainment. You can't even play our clip. I'm going to let Fallon and them know. Every time we play these clips that do copyright deals, I'm going to put you on notice right now. I'm going to sue you when you try to take us off air for playing this because you're engaged in politics. I bet you got paid money. I know Obama, I know they pay the Super Bowl to put this garbage on. I said that before they admitted it. I'm going to foyer you, and I am going to sue you. I want to sue you for all the times you violate my rights when I try to analyze your entertainment shows. So, and I'm not a litigious person, but get off my back. Late show or whatever stupid program you are. Okay, you want to engage in politics and crap all over us and your viewers? We're going to show your frickin' lies, you criminal. And you are a criminal, up there with the president trying to sell the takeover of the U.S. by foreign multinationals in a secret deal. You're going to be known as traitors, just like with the euro. So you keep laughing, you slack dog piece of trash. Play the clip.
And that's why I negotiated the new trade deal called the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP.
Now hold on there, Press Dispenser. Are you saying you're down with TPP?
Yeah, you know me.
You turn that off. Yeah, let me tell you. Yeah, black unemployment double, everything else, syphilis injections, all the tyranny, all the evil, funding Africa to have basically forced abortions. You want money, everything else, but it's all right. TPP, big multinationals, admitted internet censorship, control, shut down on more jobs, screw over the third world. But it's all right, 'cause we're all dressed up, nice evening, down with the TPP. You know me, making it cool to be a slave. Making it cool to slit your family's throat. Sitting up there laughing at you with a bunch of useful idiots who don't even know what planet they're on. Glad you brought that up, Steve. We'll be back. And with us for the rest of the hour is Gary Haven in studio, who I've asked just to come in when he's in town in Austin. He lives here part of the time, other part of the time in Australia. So many of the elite, he's a patriot, but he is a billionaire, have been running off to Australia or New Zealand for whatever reason. We'll talk about that some with him in a moment. The film opened with a great test in 30 theaters, Amerigeddon, that I happen to be in, with a lot of other great folks, in 30 theaters, and was #2 in 27 of them with an average of 3.5 out of 5 stars. That's good for the next phase. They've taken a break to roll out in even more theaters. They took a break during Memorial Day weekend and will reopen in 30 theaters in Florida, Detroit, and many other areas. And they will take another break July 4th and return another 30 theaters in L.A., San Diego, et cetera. DVD sales are set for October. And, of course, they've got some TV deals bubbling as well to be able to just basically expose the globalist agenda. And I couldn't think of a better time with the British exit, with Trump coming out. I played it 3 times, folks. I may play it again. But in the next few days, I'm going to play pretty much all the speeches. Economic speech was the best yet. And you wanted to speak to that. I said, what do you want to talk about? I said, well, Trump and what's happening, but saying communist China is a trade war. The war is already here. It's already begun. We're being screwed over. Hillary is an agent of that war against us. That's a quote. She's an agent of that trade war, which is true. She is a communist agent. And, of course, they're not communists. They're just like Kim Jong-un. They're just thugs that rule slaves. They're slave masters. They're warlords. And a lot of American elites, including George Herbert Walker Bush, his ambassador, opened up China and made the deals with Kissinger. It's come out in major books, been partially declassified, that Nixon wanted to open China, but not have an inside screw job. And so that's why Kissinger and others got rid of Nixon. But here we are today. Saudi Arabia is second. Israel is down the line manipulating our internal politics as well. It's just a fact. I'm not anti-Israel, but they shouldn't be doing it. But China is the one really censoring our media, stopping the sale of Savage's book a few years ago. I mean, I talked to Savage off air, and at first he didn't want to talk about it, and later he did talk about it. He wanted to come on about the censorship, but no, it was the publisher got threatened by the Chinese government and stuff. I've talked to folks in Hollywood. I mean, you've seen them not release Red Dawn for 2 years to take the Chinese out. Or to have The Martian come out, Gary, where we don't have rockets, but the communists do and give them to us. It's just, it's everywhere. It's insidious, and this woman sold out our missile secrets to them and more. You will see Trump soon come out on that. I told you they have internal polling showing Trump is neck and neck, 7 points or 10 points ahead in a bunch of scientific polls. They're doing real polls. I told you that Sunday and Monday. You notice yesterday it came out, dead heat or ahead in real polls. So the truth is, these national polls, he's behind by 10 points. Pure bull. Gary Haven, good to have you here, my friend.
Thank you, Alex. Good to see you.
It's awesome to have you. Of course, I should say you are Amerigeddon the movie, a multi-billionaire businessman that started some of the biggest businesses out there like Curves and others, the biggest franchise in world history. He sold it, of course, years ago, 10,000 locations. And there's just so many other great businesses you've launched. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'll tell you what, you just rolled out a whole bunch of topics for us to talk about.
You go ahead and take over. Don't pause or I'll jump in.
Okay.
By the way, I'm not gay or anything, but I mean, you're a handsome guy. And it looks like you've been in a fountain of youth. And in the 3 years or so I've known you, it's like you're in a time machine going backwards. You look really happy. I guess being retired's good.
Yeah, it is.
I just need to retire or something.
I'm having fun. And by the way, I get a comment. I've been paying attention to you and watching you. You've gotten really sensitive. And I'll make 2 points. Crying last night, you crying, it's just kind of a hard thing to picture. You're like a tough guy.
I think it's the intensification of the evil growing and also feel good rising. And it's so real now. It's like, it's not even that I'm even sad. I don't even start weeping. I mean, it's not like I start wrenching. It's weird. I just start crying. I don't know what that means.
That's it's just, I mean, we're Texans, right? You know, we're not allowed to do that. And
I'm just being truthful with the audience. I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
I look at how innocent my children are, and I just feel the great evil rising. And it's almost like I feel so strong wanting to fight it. And I'll be honest, all these perceptions open up discernment, and I just love God so much. I think it's the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that on air because it sounds like no, that's really what it is, the Holy Spirit.
You need to say that. And I tell you, that was the other thing I was going to mention.
We didn't talk about this previously, but I think you were about to go there.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I have been watching you openly talk about your faith, testify about your faith. And of course, you and I share the same faith, and we're serious about our faith. As Christians, you know, we have a passion for truth. Jesus was the author of truth. But I got to commend you. You've been bold and open about it over the last few weeks. And I tell you, we are in a serious time right now.
Well, it's not calculated. As the evil rises, I just automatically get closer to God, not even out of fear. I just feel God's power is just coming into the world.
Yeah. Well, and you're right. It is the Holy Spirit. And, you know, we're convicted to be obedient, speak the truth, to be a vessel for God to flow through.
I think that's it. I just feel God so strong. It's humbling.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you, I'm proud of you.
Well, can you describe what that's like for you then? I mean, that is what it is.
Yeah. No, it is. And I tell you, it's interesting. People think that we're supposed to sacrifice for God. But Bibles are clear about that. God didn't want sacrifice, because what sacrifice does, it gives us a chance to take some credit for what we do. What he requires is obedience and boldness. And you and I have been willing to, in fact, it's impossible not to step up and say the truth boldly, regardless of the consequences.
If you have a relationship with God, you're not a slave. You've turned over. You can't help it.
Yeah. You know, tell you what, you're not even a servant. You're a child. You're a child of the King. And boy, that comes with responsibilities along with the privileges. And so I'm proud of you to be in your place, to openly open your heart up and speak the truth about faith. And again, if you're going to be a prepper, the first thing you've got to do is prep your eternity. And you're really being a bold spokesperson.
Well, I want to be clear. I'm not on some high horse claiming I'm the best moral person or anything. I just, in my spiritual journey, it's getting so strong. And I talk to everybody else. They're either getting closer to God or they're getting into mental illness and evil. It's really a separation's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you picking up along these lines, just spiritually, culturally, what's happening in government, what's happening in the world?
I sense that these birth pangs are getting more severe and more closely aligned, as the Bible would predict.